Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, typically this isn't what my channel is really about. I, in the past, was doing voiceover amateur work here, but lately I've been discussing issues with YouTubers, and this isn't really a YouTuber drama, but it is something that really hits home to me, and I've been sitting on it for a while. I was hesitant to speak up and give my opinion just because there's been so much nastiness all the way around, but I feel like I really should speak up now. I'll say this right off the bat. I believe in innocent until proven guilty. If you guys have a problem with that, this may not be the video for you, but I'm going to be giving my interpretation of the events, bringing up some old points that a lot of the sections are overlooking, and I'm going to try to keep this as brief as possible. I still have my I just woke up voice because guess what? I just woke up. I've been up late. But yeah, let's dive right into this. So here's the situation. A popular anime voice actor, Vic Mignogna, that's how you say his name, guys. But anyway, we appreciate the support no matter what. He has been accused of several horrible things. Right off the bat, the most just ridiculous one is pedophilia. Ugh, of course, I get a phone call. Then we have sexual assault, homophobia, anti-Semitism. Guys, I need to just illustrate here what exactly is going on. For years, Vic Mignogna has been under fire for at least half of these allegations, pretty much his whole career. And basically, though, it all stems down to a situation back in the early 2000s. This is in the convention environment. If you've never been to an anime convention or any kind of convention, it is a crowded space. There is a bunch of people everywhere. They're all crazily running in line to meet their voice actors. They're standing there for hours, and they're just wanting to get things signed. They're wanting to meet with them, hear their favorite lines, you know. And there's basically a lot of people out with their phones, okay? Especially with smartphones nowadays. At the height of when this whole thing really began to take root is in the early 2000s when yaoi fangirls, you know, it was the con environment to be glomping people. That's where you run and tackle someone without their permission. You're just forcibly hugging them. Then we had the yaoi paddles, where girls would smack the asses of people going by and teasingly say, oh, if you don't support yaoi, I'm gonna, beat your ass with this paddle. That was the kind of environment that anime cons were back in the day. And, some of these fangirls really were pretty much entitled. So they meet this voice actor who, voices some characters that they ship so much with another guy. Now, let me just be right up front here. I am part of the LGBT community, but I understand why a Christian guy, because that's what Vic is. He is a Christian man who has openly talked about, his religion. He's never been, mincing words. He loves God. He is trying to preach the gospel to people. We'll get to that a little bit later. But the point is, I understand why he would not feel comfortable signing, gay comics. I get it. I understand. You know why? Because I was raised in the South in a conservative family. And that's just how it is, guys. You know, I feel like if Vic was a part of any other Abrahamic religion, like Judaism or Islam, that he would not be, or Muslim, I'm sorry, he would not be receiving the same type of response. People would be understanding, you know, and that's just something I don't get. It's like, why is it okay to push on you, push on your views onto a religious man, trying to make him uncomfortable? And here's the thing, though, throughout all these things, they weren't trying to just, you know, innocently have him sign their stuff after he told them no. From that point forward, those fangirls were trying to make him look like a bigot. They were trying to get a reaction out of him. They were trying to make him seem like he was, you know, violently telling them off, saying, hell no, I'm not going to sign your gay shit. Get that shit out of my face. He wasn't. And the reason why I'm using the thumbnail for this video relates to a particular incident that not many people are talking about. Back in 2014, that'll be almost 5 years now, Vic went through a very similar situation to what's happening now. A bunch of Yowie fangirls and pretty much any anti-fan that's been, you know, hating on him for the past, you know, 10 years or more came forward to say, hell no, don't hire Vic. Don't cast Vic as Rin from Free. He shouldn't be playing a gay character when he's homophobic. That's the kind of shit they were spouting. But the same evidence, the same testimonies that these people are using now were also used in that situation. Do you want to know what his company said in response to all of this? Nothing. The same evidence that is being used this time around to crucify him wasn't good enough, wasn't strong enough 5 years ago. Suddenly it is. And I'm supposed to think that Funimation wasn't influenced in the slightest by the court of public opinion happening right now? Let me read you the statement of what Vic said in response to these allegations back in 2014. He says, because I refuse to sign Yowie, that means I'm openly homophobic? Did you know that? Is that what this means to you, because I don't sign that? No, I am not at all. Not the least bit. Are you looking in my eyes? I am going to do my best to look in the eyes of anybody here. I am not the least bit homophobic. This is a vicious, mean-spirited lie. This is garbage, and you know where that comes from. It comes from mean-spirited children who are desperate for some attention they get on the internet and say mean things about people because they want attention. Because every time that this has ever been raised some more, how shall we say, fair-minded people have said, where's the proof? Show me proof. Look at all the video cameras that are rolling all over at hundreds of conventions. I've never behaved meanly toward anybody. I've never spoken anything meanly. There is no reason to believe that. And I think that could not apply any more than right now. This is the reason why I have so much trouble believing these anonymous accounts, because most of them begin with, my friend heard this, my friend saw this, or I heard this from so-and-so, my aunt, my mom, my grandma. It's never firsthand account. That's what I have a lot of issues with. Second of all, as Vic points out in this statement, cameras are always on him. He's a popular voice actor. You would think that if young girls were lured into his hotel room and they were affected by it, they would have gone to the police. They would have gone to hotel security and gotten footage off of the security cameras because there are cameras on every floor of these hotels where the conventions are being held. They aren't there. The most horrible thing, I think, is the Anime News Network article. There was a lawyer last night on one of his live stream. I can't remember his name right now. If I find it, I will post it later on in the comments or in my description. He was breaking down the Anime News Network article. He explained that each paragraph, the whole tone of the article was written to cast doubt against Vic. It wasn't written without bias. And if you have listened to interviews Anime News Network has done with Vic in the past, it was clear that they weren't exactly fans of him. So it's not surprising to me that they're going to release an article and write it in such a way to make Vic look like a pedophile, to make Vic look like he's worse than he actually is. Let's see. It looks like I'm actually going to have to cut this short, guys. I might do a part 2 later on. Here's the biggest thing, though. If he supposedly gave out his phone number to young girls and did this, where are the voicemails? Where are the texts? Where are pictures? Where is any kind of physical proof we can look on now to show that he is guilty of what they are accusing him of? There is none. And that's why I'm at the point where I just, despite industry insiders coming forward, it's like you were in positions of power. All of these voice actors had the same level of power to come forward and get this man kicked out years ago. They did nothing. If it was an open industry secret, he was manipulating minors, hurting minors, they did nothing. They did not step forward. They did not block him from interacting with other fans. They let him live because it wasn't their problem, because it didn't affect their paycheck. Now, suddenly it's their problem. Now they can say their story. That's why I'm casting doubt on this. I gotta go, guys, but I will be back maybe sometime this week. Talk to you later.